Good evening. Welcome to social media news. I know there's been a lot of talk about gun control all over social media. Um, there's been all sorts of talk about Twitter has all sorts of stuff about Comicsgate, and I haven't really explored any of the what they're talking about with the recent school shootings any of that, but it's all over Facebook. People are arguing. People are in the they're working on divide and conquer right now. They're gonna take our guns. They're not gonna take your guns. They're gonna take our guns. They're not gonna take your guns. We just want guns to be harder to get. If you already have guns, you're fine. Uh, I started getting involved with those debates and everything, but I can't type fast enough on my phone, and I don't like being on Facebook on my computer, so I couldn't type fast enough on my phone to argue politics with people. So I gave up. But this episode wasn't going to be about any of that, anyways. Is you can just go look for it all over your social media. It's there. But there was one thing. This is just in from the government that porn is a higher health hazard than guns. How do you feel about that? I'll write that. Write how you feel about that in the comments below. Um, this was gonna be. This is gonna be about my favorite YouTube channels because YouTube is social media. It's a streaming service, but it allows us all to communicate. It allows us all to it allows us to just be all over the world and just access different lifestyles, whatever. I can be like I could type in guy eating breakfast in Europe or whatever. I can learn whatever stupid shit in Europe. But so I ever since I started this show, I've been YouTubing a lot, and I've been like just looking at other channels, either just studying them or just being entertained by them, and I've become fans of quite a few over the couple months. Um, some of them are people that have followed me or subscribed to my channel, but not many. And I'm going to talk about my favorites. Um, right here, right on the top, we got the game theory or game theorists. Sorry about it if you can hear that in the background. My dog is going crazy. Game theorists. There's a couple shows on here. I watch game theory mostly. Well, I guess I guess I watch Meta Theory also. This one I don't really care for. I don't care for the host as much on the science of gaming. Um, I don't really watch his live stuff either. And it's like him, I think it's his girlfriend, or just there's someone in their female production staff, or some female in their production staff. I don't think they have a separate female production staff. Um, but he breaks down some video games and he tries to just figure out. And he goes through extensive research and he goes and figures out um like all sorts of stuff. The height of Mario by doing like pixel measurements and Like all sorts of shit, dude. Like it's crazy. He has a channel that does the same thing with movies. It's right here called The Film Theorists. They have a similar logo. There's a camera here on the other side. And the same thing. There's other channels and stuff on, or other shows on this channel. Like Did You Know Movies? I don't really care for that one. I don't care for the host. Yeah, he does the same thing he does on Game Theory. He just writes, does research and shit all day. I've watched some videos of his where he's like the making of an episode or whatever, and it was a joke video, but there was some little hidden truth into the video, and it was just inspiring when I see people who are doing what they enjoy and or just successful people in general talking about their work ethic. It's always really inspiring, and then I just sit there and watch them talk about their work ethic instead of applying it to myself. Next we'll have I'm skipping over Channel Frederator. I like them, but they're not one of my favorites. Channel Awesome. This has shows like the Nostalgia Critic, Sibling Rivalry, Tamra's Never Seen. All of these are pretty entertaining to me, anyways. I don't really care if they are. No, I'm kidding. Their Nostalgia Critic is like a, a video game critic or a movie critic version of Angry Video Game Nerd, where he goes and watches old movies, like sometimes old movies. It started out it was older stuff from like the 80s and 90s, but then I think he might have caught up with a lot of them and he started going on to more recent stuff, like the 2000s and whatever later. And he's really funny with his reviews. And he really like takes some of our favorite movies from when we were kids and shits all over them, and it's great because you're like, damn, that movie was really that bad, but it still holds a special place in my heart. Tamara's Never Seen is this their person on their female production staff. I think she might just be an actress on their staff, but she's like never seen any movies that we all grew up to seeing. Like she's never seen Back to the Future. Well, she has now, but she has all these videos. She does she'll watch them and then do a quick review on them, and that's usually pretty entertaining too. Then we'll go down here to Cinemassacre. Cinemassacre has a lot of shows. It's mostly famous for Angry Video Game Nerd. They do shows Board James, James and Mike Mondays, Mike beats whole games and shit on here. I don't like Mike as much, but I do like Mike. And yeah, they'll do honest movie reviews with spoilers and shit. I actually found him because I thought he was the same person as the gaming historian. I was watching a bunch of videos and shit one night. I was pretty high and stuff, and we were like, I thought they're the same guy. Now I can totally tell they're not the same guy at all. Yeah, and I don't know. He's hilarious. Um, they got pretty successful off of Angry Video Game Nerd. They run Screw Attack and whatever. So like the stuff you'll see on from Screw Attack, whatever, like they're part Cinemasker is part of Screw Attack, from what I understand. Now we have here Emergency Awesome. It's loading. Here we go. Emergency Awesome will give you all sorts of inside information on what's coming in the latest shows with Game of Thrones, Flash, like all the Arrowverse shows, Agents of Shield, the Netflix Marvel shows. Um, this dude gets all sorts of information on all, like the new Titans show coming out. This dude, if you're trying to find information on these shows, you gotta go to Emergency Awesome. Emergency Awesome gives you all the inside info. Just look at their little artwork up here. You got the Game of Thrones people over here. You got Arrowverse over here. Looks like he's got some Walking Dead stuff. Nobody watches that anymore. Wisecrack. Wisecrack has so many shows, and they're all really entertaining. I've watched so many of them. What Went Wrong, Philosophy, fucking yeah, Rick and Morty. I think they have a whole Rick and Morty podcast. The Hidden Meeting. This dude is Earthling Cinema. This this alien from another planet from the future is like pretends like he's old movies are ancient Earth artifacts, and he analyzes them to the best of his knowledge, and it's funny. Um, Thug Notes. Thug Notes is a great show. It's Spoonie Sweets PhD does reviews on books, and he'll break down the premise. He'll do he'll break down the premise and a little quick synopsis. Then he'll do his own analysis of the book, and he'll always mention stuff that's been said by people who've reviewed the books before, back when reviewing books was a more popular thing. And yeah, like he's funny, he's entertaining, like he's really good, and yeah, that's what got me into Wisecrack, and that was before I was even YouTube, and I was like, yeah, Wisecrack's hilarious. I like them. 8-Bit Philosophy is another great show. They break stuff like a lot of basic philosophy into like little 8-bit stuff or whatever, and they'll disguise it like old video games we played when we were kids. And I don't know, they're great. They're great. Go down to Moscow X. I only watch him on either Sunday or Monday, depending on when he uploads his latest Dragon Ball review. So there won't be one next week because there's not going to be a Dragon Ball this weekend. So, but yeah, he just does the what all I watch from him is his latest Dragon Ball breakdown, and he's entertaining. He's the voice of Goku on Dragon Ball Abridged, if anyone's a fan of that. And not want to click on that twice. Hip Hop DX is a great channel. It breaks down all sorts of hip hop history, and they do a lot of discussions. My favorite show right here is The Breakdown. I've never watched DX News. I've really only watched The Breakdown, and it's really good. Best of Master P and No Limit. I might have to watch that. Alright, we got time for just a couple more. Go down to NerdSync. These will be quick. If it's loading, NerdSync is a really great channel where they have shows like Comic Misconceptions and a few others and their tagline when they leave is to read through the panels. So like just look for some hidden meanings in the comics and they'll break down some comic history and stuff here and there. And it's really cool channel. I got into it when Nasser from On the Road um, showed me this Archie video, and ever since then, it's been smooth sailing. Oh, and finally, for some of the funniest people on YouTube, RDC World 1. These guys are hilarious. I wish I could just play one of their videos. They are great. They make fun of anime. But they don't like make fun of it. Make fun. You can tell they have like a really love for it. They make fun of Avatar. They make fun of sports. They have this video where they clash anime with basketball, but they're like live acting it, and they do this little opening theme song and all this shit. It's funny. It is funny. These guys are hilarious, and they're really good at what they do. You can tell a lot of the editing is really cheap and whatever, but like sometimes I think that's the point. Is they're not like because they pump out they at a time they were pumping out so much content right away, so like they just had to hurry up and get it done, whatever. And if they had more time or sometimes maybe even just a little bit more money or whatever, you can tell that like that they could really do some shit if given the just more time or whatever. Like you could tell they can just get some stuff out there. They are really good. And I think they're it's just like fresh out of college and shit too. So like it's these guys are great. And a lot of their stuff's from like years ago. I love them. And that's gonna conclude my favorite YouTube channels. Obviously there's some more, but those are the ones that stood out the most to me. I can throw out some honorable mentions, but I'm not going to. You can see my list. You can see my list of subscriptions. Dude, like just check out any of them. Check out any of them, man. Fucking this stuff. This stuff's good, man. There's a lot of stand-up comedians. Uh, some scientists, Neil deGrasse Tyson and shit. Uh, some flat earth stuff for like writing purposes and just comedy. There's one that I fall asleep to. So I don't have any idea what the fuck they ever talk about. And they just drill all their nonsense into my subconscious. That will conclude tonight's social media news. We'll see you next week when we're gonna go back to the normal looking at statuses and tweets and figuring out how they view the world. Because we all view the world differently, man. Like we can learn a lot from one another. And with that, we are signing out.